Chili beef is one of those comforting foods that just melts in your mouth, and when you get really nice, good quality Irish beef, which I think is the best in the world, with some lovely vegetables, a little bit of spice, some tomatoes, it's so delicious. So this recipe I'm going to show you is taken from my midweek meals. That's it there. So midweek meals by Nev Maguire. And it's 100 recipes, 100 images, and this is it here, family style chili beef. So this is in the slow cooker section, but I'm going to show you how to do it just in the little skillet pan. So in the slow cooker section, it just takes longer to cook, and it's a lovely way of cooking too. But this is just foolproof, so it is. Okay, we're going to start off heating our pan. We're going to put some nice rapeseed oil into the pan, and then we're going to, just to speed up the video, I'm going to do my sauce here and brown off the meat. So let's get talking just about our meat here. So this is the Irish Angus. You have the Board Bia quality mark, you can see that there. And this is the Irish Angus from Jennings in Ballinrobe. So this is the diced steak. So this is the pieces here that I'm just going to literally put onto the pan. We're going to literally warm up the pan. We'll put a little bit of butter, of course. I already forgot the butter, I never do that. So a little bit of butter goes on there. So the rapeseed oil will stop the butter from burning. And then in goes, that's a full packet I'm using there. Now keep the pan nice and high. You can double up this recipe, so you can do 2 of the packets, but I wouldn't put 2 of the packets in a small pan like that. A little bit of salt, and then some black pepper. And then we're going to start on our sauce. So I just want to lightly brown that. So see, you were doing this in my casserole pot or the skillet pan. You could brown off the meat, take that out, put it onto a pan, and then start the sauce. But just to speed up the video, this is what I'm going to do. Right, I'm going to crush the garlic in a minute. 1 small yellow, red and green pepper. And then we also have some chopped onion. You can put celery into this, you can put leeks into it. You can pack it with lots of vegetables. So this is going in here. Just scrape that in there. And then we're going to crush our garlic. So I'm just using my garlic crusher. This has got to be one of the most popular parts of our cookware. So you just literally peel the garlic, put pressure on it. I'll show you now closer next time. Scrape all that out, and it's easy to wash, and that's the beautiful thing about it. You can pop it into the dishwasher. I just usually run it underneath the tap, to be honest with you, and then just crush that. Just go back on it here and just use the board. So your board should be your friend. So just give the pan a little toss, scrape in the garlic, turn up the pan with the garlic and all that in it. And so that's 1 small onion, 1 red and green yellow pepper. You can just use green peppers, red peppers, whatever you prefer yourself. Okay. So I know this has been a very, very popular product, and I hope you're using it and enjoying the cookware. That's the most important thing. This is our essential spoon that we're using here. So it's heat proof and it doesn't absorb flavours. I think this is the new wooden spoon for me. So I'm going to let that cook for a minute, guys. Okay, without adding anything to it. Just going to literally just shake my beef. I love when it gets a little bit of kind of caramelization there, and that's where you're going to get the lovely flavour. So just flip this over, anything that we didn't get flipped over there. Now, keep the pan nice and high. So all you're doing is sealing in the meat, and that's going to give a beautiful flavour. In the pan then, you're going to start off your vegetables, which I'm doing. And we're going to use, I'm going to talk to you about these 2 spices, but I'm putting this one in here. Cajun spice. Or if you want something a bit spicier, you can use the harissa. So these are produced in a company, Oco. They're based in Athlone, and their spices are superb. Superb. Lovely if you're doing like the heat is anything like that, the Cajun spice. Look at it, these are just the best. The best in class, all organic. They're just wonderful. Tomato puree, about a tablespoon, or no, about a dessert spoon. A little bit of brown sugar, and then these tomatoes. These are the Italian chopped tomatoes, and the San Marzano tomatoes that we're using. If you want to use the plump ones, just literally break them up with your hand. They're gorgeous, but these are the same. They're just literally chopped. Okay, I'm not looking for colour here, but you just get in nice and close. Thanks, Mella. We're going to put in 2 nice spoonfuls of this. Now this is the Cajun spice, and I love the fact that it's in small quantities. You know, you're not buying 500 grams or a kilo of it. It's small quantities, because spices, you know, they need to be bought little and often, if you know what I mean. So just a little flick of that. Just coat all lovely vegetables with those beautiful spices. Now, a little bit of sweetness, some brown sugar. Then we're going to put in our tomato puree. So I'm going to put that in there. And you can put in fresh chili, There is chili powder in that, I should have said that to you. Just move that to the sink. And then just stir this through, and then in goes our tomatoes. This is so simple, guys. Now I'm just doing half the portion, half the recipe that's actually in the book. So it'll be twice the amount of beef, peppers, and it'll also be 2 tins of tomatoes. I'm going to just pop in the can of tomatoes there. The beef is looking good. We'll just stir this through. Just keep moving. You're multitasking here. And then just stir this through. So this is our tomato puree going through it. The lovely San Marzano tomatoes, those beautiful spices, and then we have our peppers. Now this is a lovely cut because you cook it kind of like low and slow. It's about 150 the oven. It can go into the oven, but if you're doing it in the slow cooker, it could take up to maybe 4 to 5 hours. You know, it depends. Every slow cooker is different. If you're using a slow cooker, try to get the one that you can sear, so you can lift out that jewel basin in it and put it onto the gas, and you can see some of my recipes on my Instagram page. Right, we're nearly there. Just stir this through. I want to talk to you about one more product which I'm going to pop in, and this is it here. So this is beef bone broth, Carol's Stock Market. This lady is just the best. She does turkey broth, she does vegetable stock, all natural, all using Irish beef bones, Irish free range chicken. You know, she's just wonderful. And I admire her. You can just go online, and Simply Better and the team are working with her. So that's great, developing some nice new range of exciting and delicious products coming out this year, which is great. That's lovely when you can work with a small producer. Like Carol, her stuff is excellent, and you can get extra of this and pop it into the freezer. That's what I normally do at home. You can use a stock cube, I should have said that. 1 stock cube, just mix it with a bit of boiling water. About a pint of stock or thereabout goes in there. So we get a little look at that. I love that there. See the way that's caramelized? That's exactly what I want. So that's going to go in here. A bit quieter now. Pop that over there, and then we just stir this through. So if you're doing 2 packs of the beef, always bring them to room temperature. Do it in batches. Do you know what I mean? Don't do it all together if you can. Now this needs to come to the boil. The lid goes on it, and then into the oven. I already have one done because it's going to take about an hour and a half. The one that we actually made it last night, and it's one of the dishes that that keeps really well. I'm going to serve it with rice, but it took about an hour and a half in the oven. So just until the meat falls apart. Obviously, if you're doing twice, double the recipe, it's going to take a little bit longer, maybe 2.5 hours. But just keep an eye on it when you're cooking it. So the key is those lovely tomatoes, that lovely Cajun spice. That's a really, really good spice there. And if you're doing some lovely fajitas, anything like that, and then our beautiful Irish beef, and I'm going to take the one that I have. This is the diced steak here, Irish Angus from Ballinrobe, and the board be a quality mark. They're all the key issues and the key messages. You know, what you're looking for is that we have really, really good quality beef. So I'll just take it out of the oven. This one is just heating up. We're going to put in our kidney beans. We're going to play musical chairs. So just literally place this into the oven. And it's great with the skillet pan because it can go into the oven up to 200 degrees, which is great. Now, he was nearly going to grab it without the tea towel. So this is what we're looking for here, Mella. If you want to go in there. So that should be really, really tender and just falling apart. And let's just pick up a little bit of the beef there. Okay, so there's a nice chunk of beef. So it just fall apart. That's exactly what I want. Kidney beans, this is them here. Just rinse them out. Any kind of brand, whatever you want. For the slow cooker, I would recommend the dried kidney beans because they take longer and they kind of bulk it up so they do. I just rinsed a full can of the kidney beans in here. We're going to stir this through, and I'll just stir this through and then finish it with some herbs. If you don't like kidney beans, you can use haricot beans. You can use lots of different beans. But beans are great, and always if you can have a couple of cans of them kind of like in your cupboard. I'm going to use a little bit of basil. Coriander's in the recipe, but I don't have coriander. So whatever kind of herbs you have, a little bit of basil I think works really well. Or a little bit of parsley. So I have some parsley here, so I'll use both. And I'll just show you the wee technique of just chopping some herbs. So all I'm doing is just literally running through or warming up the kidney beans. And then we're going to serve it up. It's as easy as that. So gather up your herbs using your big chef's knife. Roll up your finger, and then you just literally cut it like this. Never take your eye off it. And then hold it like that. and rock it over and back. Chefs, we make it look easy, but it doesn't mean when I'm talking about myself that I don't cut myself, I don't burn myself, and you just lose concentration for a second. So just be aware of that. Well, I do certainly. So just be careful when you're chopping this. Now, if I was to leave that, I didn't put it in straight away, what would happen with the basil? It would go black. So we just lift it up, in it goes, stir it through, and we're ready to serve. A little bit of steamed rice. And that's it. And this is great, guys, because it keeps really, really well. I think it's a great one for your family, for your children. These are great little things. If you have anything hot, say putting it on the counter, they're like a little trivet. So that's it there. It just sits like that. It doesn't take up much room. Open it out, and they're great. So they don't take up much room, but they certainly will save your counter. So we'll just serve this little bit of steamed rice. So just gonna flake this up. So when I'm usually cooking rice, it's water, a little bit of stock cube I use, or you can use some mackerel stock, a little bit of butter, and some salt. So this is just very simple food. You know, that's what it's all about. That's what we like to eat at home, is keep it simple, keep it fresh, you know, and it's good, healthy food. That's really important. So I want to get lots of that lovely kind of chunks of beef. Those kidney beans. You could put sweet potato into it. You could put lots of other kind of beautiful kind of vegetables into it if you wanted to. Celery, leeks, all that works really well. And get one more nice big chunk of beef there for you. And that's it. And then just to serve, just finish it just with a little bit of, just a couple of little kind of tiny little sprigs of fresh basil. Because fresh herbs are gorgeous in this. I know we finished it just at the very end, but just for a little bit of presentation. This is the kind of dish that if you make it the day ahead, it kind of keeps really well. And that's it. So that's my family style chili beef, using the very best of Irish beef. Lots of lovely vegetables in there, are really delicious tomatoes, and look out for that stock. It's a really, really great product. So enjoy this. Oh, I nearly forgot. A little bit of sour cream. Sorry, Mella. Just a tiny little blob of sour cream just to the side. I had it here. So this is made in Donegal. So that's it there from Convoy. A little bit of sour cream cuts to the richness of that. Serve it with rice or mashed potato, whatever you want to. But enjoy this recipe. It certainly, I hope, will be a family favourite.